Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Today is episode number 239 on my journey to 1800 ELO. So, if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into today's game. Alright, here we go. Playing a 1510. Gonna try it again. Yesterday was sad. We're gonna try to do a little bit better today. We have the black pieces against a 1298. We will see. Playing the Karo Khan against a German player, Almin Gandalf. Good luck, my friend. I like the name. It's like short for Almighty Gandalf. Almi Gandalf. Maybe that's his name. Never thought about it. Maybe is Gandalf a German name? Definitely sounds European, but so this is weird. Maybe this is some sort of prep. Not really sure. I've never seen bishop to d3 as the first move. I mean, typically you get your knights out first, right? So we're going to take our time and make sure we're finding the right set of moves here. So, can't move here. I could take the bishop. Then when he brings his knight in, I can move my bishop to f5. So I take, he captures, I move my bishop here. He's going to either need to move his knight or defend. He could drop his knight back to g3 in that position. I can drop my bishop back. I think I'm going to go for it. I'm not the fastest calculator in the West, but this doesn't, I mean, maybe I'm messing up here. So I see this, and then maybe dropping my bishop back. I could also just ignore it. So if he brings this back, I was thinking dropping my bishop back, playing e6 probably, and just continuing. I guess he could go back. So now he's pinning his knight to his queen. So I would like to add more pressure to it that he's got his I was thinking something like this, but he can just play a move like that and he's back chilling, I think. Yeah, if I move my queen here, I mean, I guess he could just play like this. So I think that I'm going to just continue developing. So if I play this, brings his bishop in, I can develop my bishop, or I could actually just move my queen. I think we'll do it. I'll just keep the pin. I don't see... Okay, he wants to go here, is what it looks like. This check doesn't do anything. Neither does this, I don't think. I'm just going to try and be solid, castle, get my knight out, and yeah, I don't know. He doesn't have a light squared bishop, so I could maybe think about a move like this. And if he... I mean, I guess he's playing pretty solid. I don't really have like a let's win type of position here. So I definitely think I want to drop my bishop back. So I'm wondering if I have a move like this, he moves the knight, and then I can push the pawn with a discovery on the queen. I'm looking at that. Just kind of a weird tactic sort of thing. If I play f5, he's surely going to move the knight. And then I could play f4, and it would be a discovery on his queen, and I could probably take the knight. I'm looking at things like that. I do want to finish my development. We'll see what he does. I mean, I don't know why he pinned himself. The only way I can think to really try and exploit it is things like this, maybe. If I played this and he just took, it would still be pretty destructive. So that's one of my thoughts for sure. Another thought is getting my knight into the game. Okay, so now this would just not work because I can't actually push the pawn anymore. I'm looking at moves like this now. I'm still kind of interested in a move like this, but I'm wondering maybe should I trade off the dark squared bishop. If I move my bishop here, he takes. If I take with my queen, he could actually takes. I don't think I want to do that, so I'm not going to. I could play a move like this to put more pressure on the pawn. I could also just develop my pieces, which is probably what I should do. I think I'm going to develop my knight to d6 and threaten to get it here. Alright, so he unpins himself, which is probably a decent move. What does he want to do? I think that my knight is a little hangy right now. I'm thinking I would like to maybe play a move like this and trade off the knight. If I do this and he takes, it just helps me. Then I can probably win this pawn. Do I have anything like better? He's got a battery right here. I do see that. So if I moved my knight into here and he takes, that just helps me. If I move my knight into here and he, say, pins my knight, I can still just take this so I'm not worried about that. I am going to move my knight in here. I mean, it's probably not the greatest move in the world, but I kind of like it. If he takes, I'll take with my bishop, and I think I'm comfortable with that. Takes, 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 takes. If he takes here, I can take with my bishop. If he does something like that, I can actually just take the pawn. Maybe I didn't calculate this right. I guess if he does this, I have to take. Well, yeah, that would be him losing a bishop. Alright, so the pawn's not hanging anymore, which is fine. I'm going to bring my queen. Ooh, I don't know if that actually does anything. So if I bring my queen here, he can just play a move like this maybe. If I do this, he takes. Queen here, threatening the pawn, sort of. He's definitely got my bishop looking kind of sad over here. I could play this move. If he does take, I sack a pawn. I can't get there anymore. I'm gonna move my queen over here and connect my rooks, and maybe I can find a weakness. I don't know. I feel pretty solid here. I don't know if I want to do this because it looks like he could use it like a hook. I guess that's fine still, but it's a little scary. So we're threatening b2. He can't move a rook there because I can take the rook. So that's kind of my thought right now. If he plays, I don't know, yeah, b4, I can play a move like this. Takes. I'll play a5. He's probably just going to play a3 now, which is fine. If I take, he takes. He's kind of like letting me make errors, I guess. So if he takes, I'll take. That's for sure. My queen is now kind of in a weird spot, so can't really go here. And this doesn't work because he can just take. If I play a move like this, he takes. I don't like that either. So this is where I just kind of don't know what I should be playing anymore. I want to do this, but I'm worried about him taking. I take. I mean, I guess that would be fine because it would make me up a piece. I don't think my king would be. I don't know. It's kind of rough, but maybe not. So I was thinking like a move like this, but I don't have like a follow up. So perhaps, yeah, and I don't really want to come all the way back. I mean, maybe I do. If I come all the way back and he takes, then I have to recapture with my queen. I just don't know what I'd be going for at any moment then. I'm going to make a luff for my king just so he's safe. And this might be a bad move, but I kind of don't know what I should be trying to achieve here. This would be a really nice win for us. We'd get up to 12-19 if we won this game. That'd be sweet. So I could take. What does he want? To get in here? To get here? I kind of want to just take it so he can't jump around. Takes. I think we're okay still. I'm going to try and get my queen in a little bit. If he takes and gives me the file, I'd be happy with that. I could maybe reroute my bishop. I'm not sure. I have moves like this, but I think that just weakens my structure. All it does is just make him move his bishop. He can keep it on this diagonal. I'm down a little bit on time. I do like these 15-10 games. I'm getting to think a little bit more. However, my opponent gets to think more as well. So, I don't have to take, right? I mean, I don't even know if I want to take. What is he going to take with a pawn? So if I go here, I guess he's just going to go here. He doesn't really have anything here. He does have pieces pointed at me, but I don't see like a cutthroat way of actually delivering a mate. I don't want him to take, though. That's for sure. So I probably either need to take or move my bishop. I don't know where I want to move my bishop. If I did move my bishop, like if I come here, I'm assuming he's just going to come back. I mean, because if he takes, I take. He doesn't have a check there because my bishop would be here. So I think I'm going to move my bishop to a different square. And maybe threaten to do this. I don't know. Maybe this. Really not sure. Get my queen to attack this pawn maybe. Like, if I can win these pawns, that would be a success story. This bishop is pretty strong. I kind of want to kick him out. If I do that, so he's attacking this, I can just attack the bishop. I can also just throw this pawn forward, but I think I'm going... Oh, it's a double attack on this pawn as well, which would be check. So I don't think I want to do that because I'll lose the pawn with check. So that's not a move. So we'll disregard this one. This move still allows it, so we're not going to play any f-pawn move. This move weakens this pawn. This move weakens a lot of light squares, for sure. But this move, I guess he just backs his bishop up. I kind of like this. So I'm looking at bishop here, and I'm looking at maybe a g-pawn push. I think if I was going to do it, I'd probably go g5. But that really weakens my dark squares a lot. So I'm going to actually just move my bishop to g5. This might not be the best way to go about this, but I'm really low on time. He's got over 5 minutes more than me on the clock. And, yeah. This is an intense game. I'm really worried about making a mistake. And that would be one of them, huh? So if I played this, he takes with check. I slide over. That gets super complicated. It gets very complicated. This move attacks the queen straight up. And then maybe I can drop my bishop back. So my bishop's under attack. There is no more mate threat. I think I might want to take one of these rooks, however, because if I do this and he takes, I take, I'm losing a lot of stuff there. I want to take with the rook. I don't really want him to get his queen in here either. But I might have to just allow that. I'm going to take one of the rooks, giving him the file, just because I feel kind of cramped in this situation. Yeah, he has to respond. I don't think a rook move there would be good, but I can't allow his queen to come in here. So if I do this, he takes, I take, check. I'm gonna have to try it. If he just moves his queen here, that's kind of upsetting. So this is my thought, is if he gives me this check, I can move here. And I'm chilling, maybe. Maybe. Very passive. If he gives me this check, I could still move here. Whew. Very scary. But then he can bring his knight in. If he gives me this check, I go here. Everything's defended. Then he brings this in. I'd have to run up. Whew. Super dangerous. Man. My queen is really offsides. So if I come down here, takes, he doesn't have this check anymore. Is anything hanging? Probably. This is a real, I hate queen games like this where it's just so complicated. If I come up here, what is he threatening to do? Bring the queen in here and then start eating me. Oh boy, I gotta think fast. So if I do this, he takes, I take, queen can't come in, right? What are we gonna do there? I don't know. This is probably not right, but I don't have a lot of time. Queen can't come here. Queen is attacking this pawn. I can defend it by moving my queen here. So bringing the king, I see. I'm going to continue to defend my pawn this way. I can give this check. I can give this check. I'm going to try and win some pawns. King move here, loses this pawn. So we're threatening to give this check. If he moves here, I could play a move like this. Alright. So I do have this move, giving a check. But I think being solid and moving my king forward is a better way to go. Hopefully. Not allowing his queen in, and my king can guard these pawns now. So if I give this check, he's just gonna move there maybe. I'm gonna give the check. If he moves here, I can take this pawn. He does not move there. I can't give another check right now. I'm running out of time, so I am going to move my king, I guess, forward. I have 1 minute. I have 10-second increment, but this is a pretty close game. So if I move here, he takes, I take. I'm happy with that, I think. So I think that's what I should do next. Take the pawn. We're up a pawn now. If he moves his queen here, okay, I can slide down. This is like a checkmate, so guess he has this, and then I can move here. I think I need to move here. And then this should be checkmate, maybe. I think this is checkmate. I don't know what my opponent's going to do now. He's kind of out of bounds. He might, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what he does. This feels like a checkmate. So that was a good move. This move is checkmate. All right. That is probably the best opponent we've ever beaten. I had somebody, I guess, bet that I was going to come in or win. I don't know what that means. I see, let me think for a second. Top guessers out of 1. I don't know what that means. Maybe they thought that I was going to win. That's cool. Wow. That was a tough one for me. Yo, I played with 92.6% accuracy. How do we go from yesterday playing with like 50% accuracy to this? Like, this game was a long game, and I played 92.6% accuracy. Wow. 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 We are also at a peak of 12-19. We beat pretty much our highest rated opponent ever. I had 1 inaccuracy and 1 blunder. I played like a perfect game against my opponent. Guys. So this move immediately, like, you know, I'm going for the Caracan. This is a weird move. I've never seen this move. The best move is by far getting, you know, either taking or getting a knight out, right? Like, I mean, these are the normal moves that you would see. I've never seen anyone defend with the bishop. And we found basically, like, this was also weird. He, like, pinned himself. I don't know why he did that. The best move here for him was what I was calculating, was moving the knight back to g3, in which case I think that I had said I was just going to drop my bishop back. And, yeah, that's what I thought we were going to do. But instead, we get into this big, giant, weird bulk of minor pieces with the queen out over here on my king side. And I felt kind of weird. I felt very awkward. So I developed my knight because I was like, I just haven't touched my knight. And this was my inaccuracy. So this was where I didn't know where to move my knight. I had ideas of coming to this side of the board and doing things like this, right? But I also, and maybe even putting my knight in the center, which is actually probably the best move. I moved the knight over here and traded, and my thought was, if I take with the bishop, I have good pressure on this. He plays the move that helps defend it, and he's looking pretty solid here. I brought my queen over, you know, just making little threats, like threaten to b2. He's like, okay. He pushes b4. And this, I thought, was like maybe a little inaccurate, but I was like, he ended up being really solid the whole game, and taking was not the best move. Moving my queen over to a diagonal where she can actually, like, do something was a decent move. So, like, this... So, yeah, actually, this is funny. Check, or takes, check, and that's mate, because you can't block... Well, no, you'd have to give up the queen. Also... That would have been a cool way to go about things. We didn't do that, though, and I would have been up a rook, so that would have been sweet. I didn't think about that. That would have been cool. So, yeah, like, before I did all this, if I moved my queen here and say he just did nothing on the next move, I mean, you know, if I take, I can actually sack my queen, takes with the rook, I take with the rook, and it's check. He has to block with the queen. Oh, no, he actually has the knight. So never mind, that wouldn't have been... take all that back. Scratch all of that. Yeah, he could block with the knight, actually, and that would probably behoove him. I would have been down a queen in that scenario. So taking the knight was also the best move. I figured, I was like, man, I don't really want this knight jumping into anywhere. I don't want him to have any plans with that knight. And this ended up being pretty solid. So this was not the best move. Taking was the best move. And that would have just stopped a lot of his threats. We kind of built a little... Oh. Yeah. So this was my blunder in the game. And my opponent did not find the best move. The best move was to take. If I take, I'd have to take with my rook here. And he could have stopped kind of the whole thing. But he played this, and it actually... wanted me to do this. Let's see. What does it actually want? Takes. So basically, kind of what I did, I needed those rooks off the board because that was a key defender. Like, I needed to take with the rook when it happens, like if I go to trade. So, okay. That's cool. Yeah, this ended up being, I had to do that. I had to play rook takes here because I had to be able to recapture with my rook. And this was solid because it did not allow his queen to get in here, which would have been, this would have been basically like a check. It would have been really scary if he could do that and I couldn't block. So I did go for this route, which was kind of annoying. He did bring his queen in. I brought my queen over to defend the pawn. He brings his king forward. My queen just betters herself one more square, still in defense of this pawn. His queen cannot get in, right? Like, he can't go anywhere. So he's going to need to back all the way up probably to... And he does, and I take this opportunity. I was like, I could give a check. I don't really think that that's going to do anything because this pawn is defended, and he can just walk his king forward maybe. He goes to try and trade queens. I now give the check. He moves his king. So if he had done this with the queen, I could win the pawn. It actually doesn't like his move. It likes him going backwards. I guess he can play ring around the rosy with the pawns, and I don't have, like, this check does nothing for me. All the checks from that position don't do very much. I can't go here. I can go here, but again, he can just block in that position, and I can't win a pawn directly or anything. So I think that's kind of the computer's thought. I'm a little bit better here, just barely. I chose this opportunity. I didn't know what to do. I was low on time. Also, yeah, check my time, 1:11 to 7 minutes, basically. It's terrible. So pushing the pawn immediately was better. I wanted to get my king here and then push the pawn because I was like, bro, he's kind of walking into like a checkmate, is he not? Yeah, he walked his king over to h4, and I thought that that was crazy. So his best move is by far to give him a square to just go. I kind of thought that he might do something like, I thought that this was his sort of plan because I don't really have a check here, or I can't really do anything to his king in this position. So he could have just kept his king here at least for a minute, but I thought his ultimate plan was maybe to make a little nook for his king to go slide into, but instead he does this, and I took the pawn, which was my main goal. Like, I was thinking about this. Obviously, he takes, I take, but then his king walks down. Still not good, but I didn't really want to allow that, and I also saw that the pawn was hanging. I've been waiting for a pawn, so now we finally get our pawn. He comes down with a check. I move backwards. He comes down with another check. I move up to g6, and he has no more checks. This was a clever move because this was checkmate, and that's what I was saying in the game. But we have an even better checkmate now because his king now relinquished, this pawn move took away this square from the king to move as well. So now I have this as checkmate. So we played like a 1900. That was probably, I'm going to save this game because this is like one of the best games I've ever played. Yep, saving that one. That goes in my fantastic game folder, which has a few of my best games I've ever played. And yeah, this feels really good, guys. Played like a perfect game. I don't do that very often, especially after playing a game yesterday where I played with like 50% accuracy. But I like the new format, 15-10. Yesterday was kind of a fluke, I think, and I think we're going to keep gaining ELO from here on out. There's going to be days where I lose ELO for sure, but I like the extra time. Gives me time to think. I think that ultimately if I can calculate my lines, that I outcalculate people around my rating range usually. So as long as I'm clear-headed and I'm playing and I'm focused, I think that I'm better than most people in my rating range right now. So hopefully we shoot up to 1,300, 1,400, get closer to 1,800. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed today's game. Felt really good. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. See you then.